Here we are. This is Buke, and
this is George.
And we are joined with one of the most talked about guests and the best feedback we've received on the Metalheads Podcast, one Matt Barlow of Ashes of Aries. We're here in Baltimore with him. Matt, how's everything going today, brother?
Good, man. Hit a lot of traffic. It sucked, but as traffic does, I don't know that, the only thing you can do is bad is sort of laugh about it, after the fact.
Exactly. That's when we started. That's one of the first things we had to mention.
Yeah. 95 is pretty much the bane of the East Coast in terms of travel.
Yeah. So you guys just are on a quick little 5-6 city tour here. Get out, play for a little bit. How's that going so far?
Good, man. Good. We've done 2 shows so far, so this is like our midway point. And it's been good. Frog Power was really good. Had a good crowd down there. Pretty enthusiastic. Last night in Virginia Beach was okay. The original plan was to play in Richmond. Apparently the promoter overbooked, so it kind of pushed it. He found another place for us to play, which was Virginia Beach, which is great if you want to look at the beach, but some folks it's a bit of a way to travel, especially on Thursday night stuff. So it is what it is, man. We still had a good, we had some folks that turned out that were really enthusiastic, and we put on a show for them. So they paid for a show and they got one.
Since we've last spoke with you, has anything in the world of Ashes of Aries changed? You guys added any new plans for maybe putting out a new album? Any new future tour plans down the line? You were talking about 4 or 5 months ago. Anything that maybe changed since then?
Yeah, no, we're still working. We still have quite a few songs that we're in the works. It's just really a matter of us being able to put it together, schedule time for recording and all that. It's a lot. It's a lot to do, especially since we have other schedules. So, careers, families, things like that. So we do the best we can.
Traffic gets in the way of those plans too, so you have to roll with them. Hey, when we were planning to come up here today, George and I were going through our record collection, and I forgot to ask you this on the pod, but your stuff that you did with Ashes of Aries, we didn't ask you before, was this material that you maybe had inside that you wanted to get out for a while, that maybe your own band was the only way you could do it?
There were a couple songs that I used lyrics that I had composed before that I hadn't used, but nothing. All the music was just between me and me and Freddie started the thing together, and then obviously Van added into that and made the songs even better. And so no, there was nothing that I had composed or anything like that I had ever given to Iced Earth or anything like that. So no. I'm sure you do when you play these shows. Is Freddie and Van getting play Nevermore and you're getting play Iced Earth? I'm sure you're getting that screamed out to you every night, right? Yeah, we do somewhat, but I think people get it. I think people understand that we want this to be a kind of clean separation, and it is what it is. We're doing what we want to do. We're gonna do a cover tonight, just to kind of throw something in there and spice it up a little bit, but it's Ashes of Aries stuff, so
Exactly.
So hopefully people enjoy watching us, play it live, and for what the ticket prices are, it's not much more than going to see a movie. So and you get
incredibly reasonable price.
Yeah.
And you get a bunch of bands, man, and you get Ghosts of War, which those guys are famous in this area. They play a lot, but they do a fucking awesome job. So it's really a good thing.
Yeah. What were you saying earlier about what a praise you were saying for Ashes of Aries and Matt for taking
well, I mean, the last couple Iced Earth albums with Stu on vocals, I mean, they're good. They are what they are. But honestly, the Ashes of Aries album blows it all away. And I'm not trying to I wasn't trying to stir any shit or make comparisons, but I was just saying, listening to the Ashes of Aries album is, for me, as a fan of your, catalog, is much more satisfying than the last couple Iced Earth albums, as good as they are.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, man, and that may be a thing. If you're a fan of the way that I do vocals, maybe that's it. I mean, I know that was a tough thing for Tim to transition in, but then again, there are some people that kind of came in with Tim, and they like Tim's stuff way better. So I think it's just a matter of what kind of style that you like. Because, I mean, obviously there are different styles between me, Tim, and Stu, and even, Gene Adam and, John Greeley. I mean, as far as Iced Earth is concerned, there were a lot of different styles. And I think that people just have their favorites, and maybe I'm your favorite just because you kind of like what I do, and so I put a lot of that in Ashes of Aries. I probably put more of it. I used the opportunity with Ashes of Aries to really expand and do things that outside of what I had done, because maybe John was kind of pushing me in one direction because it's his music or whatever. So I just kind of use the space, you know what I mean? I was like with the cowbell, I'm exploring the space. So that's it.
When you left Iced Earth for the second time, when you came back to Iced Earth, I was like, yes! And then when you left again, I was like, no! And so when I heard about Ashes of Aries, I was just so relieved that, there was going to be more music from you one way or another. And it's so good. So anybody listen to this, if you have not heard this yet, please check it out.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been cool to leave on a better note, obviously. I mean, just coming in, doing a second half of a concept that was already going. I mean, obviously, I helped start that concept, so with my voice. So, it would have been nice. It was cool to do it, but it would have been nice to, do something more and leave on a better note, maybe. But it is what it is, man. I still felt like the second time around, I got to leave the band on a better note than I did the first time, better terms, and at least give people an explanation a little bit more so. And I think people understand. When you're talking about career, family, and stuff like that, and on both sides, not just me, but for John and what he needed to do with the band. I mean, those guys toured extensively, and because that's what you got to do to make money in the music industry now. When we're doing these shows, we're not doing it to make money. We're not doing it to go broke either, but we're certainly at least would like to break even on them so that we can keep doing it and keep putting out records and stuff. So,
When you started Ashes of Aries, was there a almost hill you had to climb up, a battle you had to fight with some of these people who, in their eyes, no matter what you did, they didn't want to hear it because how dare you try and do something else? Or were people, I guess, only a fan of Iced Earth or your previous work, but not a fan of you and the band anything to come after that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, just like I said, there are those guys that were diehard, Tim Owens fans, and guys that are, diehard Stu fans. And, God love them, man. If that's what they like, if that's what makes them feel good, and that's what is good to their ear, then, God bless them. I mean, I can't sit and listen to a Beyonce record, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't work for my ear. But for those people that do, God love them. That's what they like, and it makes them happy. Please, by all means. So I'm not here to impress everybody. I'm not here to please everybody. I'm here to do what I do, and hopefully the folks that like what I do, will keep supporting, and so that we can keep making records.
I'm not trying to take a fun evening and drag it down, but this is a sad day here in the States. September 11th. You want to talk maybe a little bit about where you were on this day and how you found out about the events happening?
Yeah, actually, it's kind of, it's one of those things, those life-changing moments, man. The day, not just for, and obviously it was life-changing for everybody. But that morning I was getting my stuff together to get ready to get on a tour bus to go meet up with Judas Priest in California, and we were going to start our tour with Judas Priest when Tim was fronting the band, and so it was just surreal. So I spent, after bawling my eyes out with my wife sitting on the couch watching the towers come down, I got to get on a bus and start to travel across the country because we had no idea at that point what was going on as far as the tour. We knew we had several days to get out to California and start, and so it was like a 3-day journey on a bus. So essentially we spent 2 days on a bus. Thankfully, I guess in some bizarre way, we had satellite television on the bus, so we could watch TV and find out what was going on while we were traveling. I think we got as far as can't remember. We got as far as Oklahoma, I think, maybe, before they said everything's shut down, no flights in and out, everything's canceled, and they canceled the tour and we turned around and went home. it was just, it's just one of those things that, you obviously never forget. Everybody who went through the experience of 9/11 will always remember where they are. But it's just that kind of that, even that more of a twist in like, where everybody's lives could have gone at that point. And, who knows,
For everybody, I think, we all saw the footage of the planes hitting the towers and everything. I think it hit home so much, obviously, for the tremendous, horrible loss of life, almost 3,000. But the fact that it was something, when that first plane hit, you're thinking, was that an accident?
Yeah, I was like, what kind of? I was in a training, like computer training class at work that morning, and my sister sent me an instant message, and she's like, a plane hit the one of the Trade Center towers, and I was like, what kind of moron doesn't see a building that big in their path? I was like, but then when she told me that the second tower was hit, I got cold. I was like, that's no accident.
Yeah, we were sitting watching the news, and they had the camera on the towers, and you saw the second plane come in and hit, and I just absolutely, like you said, cold just went through my body. I started to cry because I knew at that point, we were under attack, and it's just, goosebumps just thinking about it, man.
I just did too.
The years since then, you've seen footage. You see the horrible images of the people above where the planes hit, trapped on the windows. You can't get it. Just horrible all around.
Yeah, I remember, like the feeling of having no idea what was going. I mean, this doesn't happen here, and I left. I got up and like the class that I was in. I was like, y'all need to leave because shit's going down. I don't know what it is, but I'm leaving. And I went outside and I was like, looking for planes because we're in D.C., and eventually one hit the Pentagon, and it was just like, what do we expect next? They're going to be like dozens of these. What's going on? It was such a messed up day. I wanted to say, I had read somewhere, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that 9/11 actually inspired you to sort of head in the direction of your current day job now.
It did, yeah, because I really, and it wasn't so much. It was a combination of things. Just you step back and you look at your life and you say, where am I now, and where are we going? And not only just myself, but as a country, and where are we going to need? And it just got everything rolling, man. I mean, I was 31 years old. I really had no. Other than the music business, I was working odd jobs and doing other stuff, but I had nothing that was like, I was thinking my family, my future, and all these things. And so I enrolled in online courses and started, working towards my criminal justice degree, and which I still don't have yet, which is bizarre, but anyway, after all these years. But I figured, hey, man, I'm in it, so I'm kind of like living it. So I guess that's why I didn't really, concern myself with it as much. But
you look at the current world we live in with the ISIS threat and all this stuff. This is the world we live in now. And just like everybody who joined law enforcement, joined the military at that time and after, shows a lot about your character that, hey, you see the world that we live in now. And when you put on the uniform every day that you are, without them caring about your family, your children, you're just another possible target for them. So it says a lot about your character, Matt.
Yeah, and I got to say that means a lot to me. I mean, when I heard about that, I was seriously impressed with your character. So I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
So, Matt, unless I don't have anything else, we'll let you get in there, hang out with the band, hang out with the fans. Anything else you want to say? You're wasting away the bones.
Grab something to eat.
Rip our faces off.
All right.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's an honor, Matt. Truly. Thanks again for everything.
Thanks, guys, for coming out.
Okay, this is Buke and George, and we have stopped the fucking man on the skins himself. Yeah, I know. Talking to the Don King. Van, how are you today, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
We are doing wonderful. We were all lamenting about the traffic situation and how bad it is coming down here. So we were just talking to Matt earlier before we talked to you. Here he is. Matt, Van wanted to say something about the Don King.
I was going to say, That's the robot. That's the Don King robot, right? We had another robot. Remember, we had the RTD2 with an afro.
Yeah, the afro for doing the room mic stuff. Yeah.
That's the Don King. I just had to.
He is back again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's
Thanks.
all. That's all.
That's all he wanted.
Or whenever I need facial hair, I just go like this.
There you
The
go.
flavor saver.
Go on,
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Okay, so Van, this, not to start off on a sad subject, but this day here in the States is a tough one. It's September 11th.
Yes.
Remember where you were when that terrible day happened?
Yes, I do. We were in California. I believe we're on our way to Anaheim. We're on tour with Sabotage, and we were at a hotel somewhere, and we heard the news. We were at a hotel at night. I remember we were partying all night, and the sun was coming up, and I remember just going to bed, and then I was passed out in the bunk, and then Worrell came in. He was in the hotel room, and he's like, "Dude, you got to see what's on the TV. Come on." And he woke me up.
Like, no.
Dude, I was wasted. I got
Leave me
up.
alone.
I went into the room and looked at the TV, and the towers were on fire and everything. And I'm like, he's fucking with me. It's like some TV show or something. I'm like, I'm going back to bed.
It's like Sharknado or something.
I didn't believe. I was too. It was morning now. We were partying all night.
It's like 7.
We drove. We played. And it was surreal, so I didn't believe it. I went to sleep. I woke up again a few hours later, and everyone's still scrambling around, calling home, because Sabotage from that East Coast too, So that's where I was. And once I realized what was happening, I called back home, and I have cousins that are police officers that were involved. One of my cousins is in Time Life magazine. They're carrying somebody out. I mean, it was horrendous.
Coming from the Bronx, did you tragically lose or know anybody who lost their life on that day?
I did not know anyone that lost their life on that day. My wife's brother actually worked in the building, but he was not going to work that day. He was
Crazy.
He was on his way in, but then he got a call to go to somewhere else.
Crazy how those things happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Seth MacFarlane, the Family Guy creator, was supposed to be on one of the first or second flight that hit, but he overslept.
Yeah, so was Bruce, the Caps old coach. He was booked.
Bruce
and
Boudreaux.
Bruce Boudreaux was supposed to be on there, and he missed his flight.
Yeah. It's just crazy how those events happen.
Oh, man.
But, like we were just talking to Matt, when us on the East Coast, when we were watching live, I remember I was in college, you see the first plane hit and you think, man, it's just a rookie pilot.
Right.
But then, you're watching the news, then you see the second plane hit, and you're like, my God, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And
I figured it was like a small, like, two-seater plane or something. Like somebody wasn't paying attention and they screwed up, and because those things crash all the time.
Yeah. You think it was an accident, but
Yeah.
it's just horrible.
just tragic. So, the years since then, we're in Nevermore. It's all on the internet. We're not going to bother you about getting into the details of that, but your relationship with Nevermore has since ended for the time being.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it basically came down to, it wasn't anything musical. I think we're all on the same page musically. We all like the same stuff. I think we all love the band. It was just internal issues that we couldn't come eye to eye on. I think all four of us. Worrell, Jim, myself, and Jeff. And it was just time that Jeff and I felt at the moment that we had to walk away, because it just seemed like we couldn't talk. Our communication between the four of us really was like gone at that point. So, you have to do what you think is best. If you're not having fun, you got to do something.
In a time where bands aren't, it's very hard for, that better than, of course, we do, who aren't even in the industry, where this is not a living for most people. Was it hard to take that for what the future, you didn't know what it would even hold?
Absolutely. I mean, that was our life. I was doing that for a long time. Those guys were doing it for a long time.
And Nevermore is one of those bands that when people say, hey, who are you a fan of, or name a metal band, it was one of those, boom, but it's mentioned as one of the top.
Well, I always believed that we were a great band. I'm not to toot our horns, but I thought we actually had some commercial potential songs,
The River Dragon Has Come was fucking amazing.
There's tons of them that could actually be played on the radio or something. I don't see what the problem was how we never could break that cusp of getting larger. But it could be because internally we weren't pushing enough, I don't think we were working as a team. At some point, we stopped working as a team, and it just collapsed. And it kind of ended ugly. I mean, and it's just till now that we're starting to talk, where I talked to Worrell a couple of times, he's called about my wife, and, and I do care for those guys. I love Worrell. He's still one of my people that it's been a part of my life for a long time, So, but it ended badly. I mean, he was pissed. I don't know if he's still pissed because we talked, but it just wasn't a good situation at the time. I know he said a lot of bad shit. Well, fuck the drummer or whatever, but I'm a bigger man than that. I can just say, you know what? Whatever, man. And I'll walk away because I don't want to have to go there. That's all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For us being the fans in this internet age we live in, it is so easy for any band, you, Worrell, or somebody, to take a quote. It can be typed up, fucking Blabbermouth is famous for it. They're not even relevant anymore. But you can take a quote, you can spin it any way you want, and it can go fall on either sides. When that was happening, did you even go online at all to read into any of that? Because you knew better than what was being said online, what was happening.
When I read that he said, well, Jeff, has left, but I don't really care about the drummer or something like the drummer.
I do remember that.
It's really kind of, it is a shot, and I could see him saying shit like that, and I took it personal, and I did respond in an email or two online. I went online and I said, hey, whatever, time has come. We got to do what you got to do. I wish the other guys luck. I choose to take a higher road than sit there and badmouth him.
Yeah.
Because he's pissed at the moment. He's going to say stuff. That's fine. If I get pissed in the moment, I'm not going to go online and say it. I'll tell you. Yeah. I'll call you up, or I'll show up at your fucking house.
That's because they're from the Bronx.
You know what? my fucking Aunt Ada, she walks around with an ice pick, brass knuckles. We handle things differently.
Yeah.
But I got to control my shit. I got family. I'm a grown fucking man. If you touch me, we got a different problem. He never put his hands on me,
Wait, you're getting fucking fresh, George. Stop. Get your fucking shine box.
So how did you get hooked up with Ashes of Aries?
Well, the band ended, and then I was home for a while, and Matt called me up. I've been friends with Matt forever, and since Iced Earth, and we toured. And he's like, I'm working with Freddie. Freddie left Iced Earth, and we're working on material. You want to check it out? We'd love you to have some drums on there. Like, send me some stuff. He sent me some tracks. I'm like, cool, let's do this. I recorded some stuff, and here we are. So, we're just doing it, man. Yeah.
In this, digital age, and we've mentioned this on the pod a lot, it blows us away how you guys can be in all separate locations. And it's like you guys are in the same room all the time. We've never talked to a drummer on the pod yet. Is that with timing and stuff being so critical to what you do? Is it a little harder not being in the same room when they're sending material back and forth to you? When maybe the instant feedback for you may be a little different than a bass player or a guitarist?
No, like Freddie will send me, guitar. Freddie plays a little drum, so he'll send me like rough tracks of his ideas. But I always have him send me stuff without drums so I can have a fresh idea before I hear anything that he's doing. I don't want to poison it. So it's not really difficult. And I think we're all, I don't want to say pro enough, but I think we should be pro enough, to learn the material, get together, jam it, and then it should be okay. It should be easy. So that's pretty much what we did. He lives in Pennsylvania. Freddie's in Arizona.
And you're where now?
In New York, upstate New York, yeah. So we just send shit back and forth. They'd come over, stay for a weekend at my house. We jam out in my studio downstairs, and then we take off. So it's not that bad.
So cool. We were talking with your time with Nevermore. You said you felt you had a lot of possible radio potential. One album you feel was your favorite or your top? I thought your work on Dead Heart myself was just amazing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You know what? I really love a lot, or if not all of the records. I don't think we ever put any music down that was fluff material. Like, oh, put that at track 8. Who gives a fuck? I think we all truly believed in every song. favorite album at the time really was Politics of Ecstasy, maybe, because it was the most experimental record where we can, like Jeff and I basically were working together on parts and really trying to do a little bit more wacky outside the box type things. So, and Pat O'Brien is on there too. It was just a weird time, but it was a great time. So I always, that's a special record for me for some reason every time I listen to it.
Now, it came out this week that Sabbath has announced their final tour. Again, just like with the last tour and the last album, Bill Ward's not going to be on it.
Right.
It's a travesty, I think it is. Isn't that pretty sad?
I think it's a travesty too, but there's two stories that he's not able to do it, like he can't play anymore, and then there's the side where Sharon's a dick and doesn't want him to play. So I don't know what story is to believe.
I've heard like his cut wasn't equal to everybody else's, and he says he wasn't going to.
They wanted to dog him up. Hey,
This is if this is the true last Sabbath tour, fucking get it together and just work it out.
I don't want to go see Sabbath, honestly, because of that reason, because I was tending to believe the version that he was getting gypped out, where he's a real guy, he's the guy, man. Have him in the fucking band. It's like Kiss going to the, to the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you don't want to go on stage with Ace and Peter. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you? Those are the songs that made you Kiss. I mean, come on. I mean, what kind of arrogance is that? To me, it's shocking. So,
okay, we see so many bands today, Entombed most recently. They break up. They have a horrible breakup. What if there was a Nevermore AD without Van on drums?
Hey, I think that would be okay if it works out for them. That's fine. I mean, Worrell's out doing the Brazilian things. He plays on his own. I don't know if that would be a decision I would make as a singer of the band. I would be like, all right, what happened in the past? Maybe there's something I did. Maybe it's something everyone did. Well, let's come to the table and work it out, because to me, it was a band is a special band, is the members that were in the band. You can get everybody to play your shit, but it's like karaoke to me. So if that's what you want to do, that's cool. But, I mean, Jeff has some opinions on it as well. But it's the same thing. Everyone's going to do what they're going to do. So what can I do? I can't do nothing about it.
What a great attitude.
I mean, we left the band. I get it. Jeff and I said, you know what? We left. But there's a reason why we left. We didn't just wake up and say, you know what? This is so much fun. Fuck this. I'm out.
We're in Nevermore. We're in in the metal world. We're a household name. Yeah, we're just gonna leave now.
We're climbing the ladder. Let's just quit. That's not how it goes down. Yeah. So whatever people like and they want to go and see the show, that's fine. Go see it. But to me, it's not a show if it's not the band. And if everyone's still alive, maybe you should try to at least fix the relationship, and then we can move from there. But that hasn't come across yet, so I'm not going to hold my breath on it.
You look at the Pantera guys. Vinny and Phil say Vinny says, as long as I'm alive, it's never fucking happening. But they have their own hatred for one another there.
Right. Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
I don't think anybody can feel for Dime, maybe Zach Wild, but that's a podcast for a different day.
You don't think so?
Did you ever have the honor to meet Dime?
I never met Dime, no.
Never met Dime?
No. I have met his brother, though. It was cool as fuck. Yeah. But no.
Being a drummer, what do you think of what Neil Peart does?
Neil Peart, I grew up on Rush, man. I love Neil. And I've listened to every Rush record.
I have to ask. Because
dude, I listened to Rush all my life. Yeah. I loved it. And I still, if I sit down, if I'm playing pool with people, Jacob's Ladder's on or something, I still fuck up in that middle section. I'm like, the doom, da, doom, doom, da, da. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I never studied it, but it's so great. But I kind of love not knowing how to really do it, There's something about that.
There's a mystery
it's
left.
Still magic, man. And Neil is always like, look at that, dude. I got goosebumps. I talk about.
Look at this.
Rush.
I
love it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rush bumps. Yeah,
dude, I got Rush bumps.
That's crazy. No, because I guess me not being a drummer, he gets into his solos sometimes. And I'm like, for the first couple minutes, I'm like, yeah.
He thinks Neil's overrated. I have not been able to break.
I didn't want to say that.
I disagree. I
guess I can't appreciate it.
You know what? Everything Portnoy does, it's directly related to Neil. I think a lot of people prog stuff is all directly related to Neil somewhere along the lines. You know what I mean? What I do is directly related to Neil. Even though I don't play anything like him, I'm totally connected to him because he made me want to stay playing drums. You know,
you and Mike friends?
Oh yeah, I met Portnoy on the Gigantour. Great guy, seemed like a real nice guy. You know, we hung out a few times, you know, with everybody on tour, but you know, we've never like hung out like, hey, let's go shoot the shit and drink beers.
Apparently, I heard you left Dream Theater because you didn't want to play Pull Me Under another 1,000 times. And no, I'm just. But those prog, let's admit, those prog guys are a little the fans. We're not really prog fans, but we have one of our friends who's a good prog fan. They're a little out there, a little bit.
Yeah, particularly John, man. He's just fucking weird.
One of our friends saw you guys at Prog Power this past week.
Okay.
Said you guys were amazing, but well, you think you played well?
I know nothing. I say nothing.
Okay, so we'll let you go here. But what else can we expect from you? Any other side projects? Anything you're working on?
I'm doing this project called Ghost Ship Octavius. I don't know if you're aware of it.
Yes, you are. On Bandcamp, we got it.
Okay. Well, it's closer to a Nevermore style.
Yep.
So I'm loving that. Adone, actually, the singer and guitar player for that band as well, is playing for us for Ashes. So if you, the guy with the real long hair, that's Adone. He's the singer for Ghost Ship. So I'm doing that. We're working on and getting a tour ready to come out hopefully by November, hopefully. And just get going, man. We got the record out. Matt Wickland's selling CDs right now at Prog Power. So he's like, I sold out of all our shit already. I got another day to be here. I'm like, that's awesome. We're not even playing there. It's great. So I think expect big things from that band. Ghost Ship is going to fucking rise.
It has made, I've seen it on, what was it? Yeah, one album before, right?
That's our first
What?
record.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It
Yeah, it just came out a couple months back. It was making a lot of lists already for like album of the year on a bunch of stuff.
We haven't had any bad talk about it yet, so I'm very happy about it. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
And Ashes, we're working on new stuff as well. So I think it's going to be a good year. Got a lot of good stuff. My wife's doing a lot better. So a lot of positives on the horizon, and I'm just trying to look at the bright things instead of all the negative things, you know?
In closing, Van, I wanted to also say it was very nice to see where the internet can be a very harsh place. It was nice to see, because where people can hide behind a username or a meme.
Absolutely.
It was nice to see the responses, the hundreds of them for your wife.
Yeah.
And us from the podcast here, we truly wish her from the bottom of our hearts the best.
Thank you.
We truly do.
You know what, dude? It's like the most humbling thing ever. It's the most horrific thing ever. It's hard to do, to put your shit out there, but, you know.
Did you obviously made the decision too. May I ask why?
Well, honestly, if we didn't do the crowdfunding, we would have been kind of fucked, man.
Really?
There's some major bills that come in, dude. I mean, you look at them, some of them are like huge numbers. And also we have a house, you know, we got mortgages, like everybody does, you know, but it was really like, how are we going to pull this all off, you know?
Shows you how fucked up the healthcare system is for so many people who go through it like that. I don't care if you have insurance, no insurance, it's people need help. And the costs are so expensive.
She has insurance that covers stuff, but some stuff it doesn't cover, you know. So it was a necessity to ask people to, you know, if they can help out, that'd be great. And we had an overwhelming, I think, response. You know, we asked for 15, or we didn't even know what kind of number because we never been in this situation. And the love that came through, I can't say more. I mean, you know, we'd look at the screen and cry. You know?
Yeah. Just me looking at seeing strangers giving hundreds of dollars, powerful. It gets me a little choked up. Van, you're truly one of the best in the business, brother.
Thank you.